Okay guys, to get the rear seats down, pop this rear clip off right here. Take a little screwdriver and pull back on it. Pull this liner back. Okay, look over here. Shoot that in 2 seconds. Look at that fucking thing. It's a little lever. There's a little lever here. See this? This is where the cable is normalized. Six. And right here there's a lever here. Push on it in, and the seat will release and it'll fold down. Okay, once you get the lever pulled, guys, pull the seat forward. And behind here, you'll see down here if you can see in here. Just a second, sir. Let's see. More lever here. There we go. See this little lever here, guys? You push this lever in, and pull the seat armrest forward, and there you go. And then there's one 14-mil bolt right there. Loosen it off, and this piece will pull right off. Okay guys, the rear end's out. The MazdaSpeed 6 is what I'm working on tonight. So basically I got a Corksport, rear upper diff mount, White Widow diff mount, DSS axles, BC coilovers, a white line 24mm sway bar, some royal purple, and here's the rear end. It's rusty, but she's there. Not as nice as yours, Robin. So this is tonight's project. Pain in the ass. Get him out of the car. That's a rear sway bar, guys. This is the Corksport rear upper diff brace. Brace mount, what do I want to call it? Got some ACs and the bolts. This car I'll probably never see winter again, but you never know. Tip on this one is to mount the fucking brace to diff first. The bowl holes are really tight in this mount. gonna jump and say, did I torque the bolts down? My gun is set to 1. It's a very low torque. I'll torque them down afterwards. So here you can see the Mazda design of junk this is, and this is a Turbine Tech White Widow 1. So we have to loosen up 3 case bolts. 1, 2, 3. Slide it on, put them back on, and there you go. So here you can see the Mazda design of junk this is, and this is a Turbine Tech White Widow 1. So I have to loosen up 3 case bolts. 1, 2, 3. Slide it on, put them back on, and there you go. Now one of the bolts is longer, guys. The side bolt, make sure you put it back in the same spot. Let's see how this bad boy fits. Fit's not too bad. Hassel's probably pretty simple. That's it. Can make sure all the sand out of here and dirt and grease out here, push it down on the floor. Here's your Mazda seal. Take a hammer and gently tap it in place. Just walk it in gently. Difference in sound. She's bombed out now. So wipe the excess grease that's in the outside lip, but leave those stuff in the inner lip though. The longer shaft goes on the passenger side, by the way. Turbine Tech hardware. Yep. Use it. Should see. I'll get some new bolts. These bolts aren't right. I stand corrected. There's lots of room there. For some reason they're not lining up. passenger side, by the way. These are fucking pain in the ass put in. So for a turbo intake mount, they give you 2 washers. You can change the bolts out if you want. I end up using the washers. I actually measured the bore. The bore has about, I think it's about 1/4 inch, roughly extra longer space than the actual bolt is. So you got lots of room in there, don't worry about it. The threads will have some Loctite in them, so they will be a little stiff to put in, so don't worry too much about it. Your big bolt goes down here, and there's 2 small bolts go up here. Now guys, another thing I noticed to flaw, this lip here, especially on DSS, clean this off, get all the grease off, because all that's going to happen is the dirt's going to stick to here and work its way to the second seal here, and then it's going to tear the seal out and they're going to have a leak. So clean this part out and leave it dry, and leave the oil inside these, the grease inside these 2 seals inside here. For you guys installing DSS axles, you're going to notice when you put it in, it's not going to sit all the way in. Here's a factory length of the shaft right here. You notice the caliper goes right to the end, okay? On the DSS axle, there's still about, I'd say 3/8 of an inch left over. So when you install it, the axle's not going to sit flush here with the seal. It's going to sit right about here somewhere. I noticed this after playing around with it for a while. I'll show you on the car now. Okay guys, here it is. The axle is all the way in. You're going to have roughly, like I explained earlier, 3/8 of an inch sticking out from the outside lip to the machine surface roughly. This is a double lip plus an extra lip outside here for sealing, so you're still going to have 2 lips of sealing on the axle seal itself, on the axle shaft itself. So don't be worried that the axle's not the way in. I played on this thing for about an hour to figure out, after measuring it, that this is the problem. I don't know why DSS did it this way, but that's the way it is. Quick tip guys, these axles are a pain to get out. It's because the wire clip sticks in the diff pretty well. Like I said in the video before, you have to use 2 chisels to pry it out. It's the easiest way to get it out. But do verify that you have the full clip out, not just chunks are missing. Make sure the whole clip is out on each one. If it is missing, you're going to have to fish it out with a magnet. If you can't get it out, unfortunately, you're going to have to pull a diff apart. So do make sure this is in, because if this piece gets jammed up in the ring gear and pinion, your diff's done. So here's the drama. The DSS axles, because they go all the way in for some fucking reason, they hit the sway bar. So you got to drop the diff down, loosen all the bolts up, loosen the top cap, drop it down. It might be easier to just take the whole diff off and then put it on afterwards. I don't know. I'm going to keep trying and see how this goes. But here's my dilemma right now. So guys, as you can see here, DSS axles stick out a little bit more. So it is hitting the sway bar bushing bracket. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move the holes to the right a little bit and push the bracket to the left. And I'll cut the bushing and see how much clearance I have. I like to have at least a 1/4 inch clearance so nothing hits. Okay guys, after 3 times, this is what I got. I ground down about roughly a 1/16 off the side to push it in, and then I concaved it a little bit. Now I try to keep as much of the side of the rubber, the bushing, to keep it in place when the sway bar goes left and right. So hope the bushing doesn't slide past the bracket. We'll see what happens. There you guys go. There's about roughly a 1/4 inch of room here. It's not a lot, but it's about the best I can do right now. So hopefully the boots don't hit this. So for it to get apart, make sure you remember the angle of the shock. A good way of doing it is if you see this bolt on top here, stand back. It is roughly this. It is roughly from the top bolt, the same angle as the shock. So if you put it back together, try to line up as much as you can like that. That way, push less pressure on the bushings. Another tip, guys: take some 80 grit or 120, sand this all down, especially around the edges so the rust doesn't protrude into the mating surfaces, because if it does, you might get an unwanted wobble, vibration if you want. Put a little bit of NACs on it. And I've done this on cars since I was 12 years old and I've never had an issue. So sand this, put some NACs down on both flanges. Sand that down too. And when you made them up, you can see the difference of the flanges here. Try match them up. Same on the differential itself. That way there's no difference in rust in the way. It won't create a vibration. One more thing, guys. Get a plumber's 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch fitting brush and run it in and out here a few times. Clean the threads out. That would make it a little easier to put your axles in. If on your axle side, give a little wipe. These are brand new DSS axles. They do have some humidity, some rust in them from humidity. Give them a quick little scuff. Next order of business, guys, the shock bracket, 3/14 mils. There is a little hook right here, so it will catch. Just put your hand here inside. It will hold there. Now you can take this out, you can paint it. Oh fuck. Just remember the orientation, mark this some way so you know where the shock angle is going to be. Okay guys, the adjustment knob is on the inside here. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to get to, but this is the way it is in those MazdaSpeed 6s. So the orientation is lined up with the bolt, so they're going to push back in. Now I suggest for you guys that are going to drive this car in the winter time, I would, while you're in here, spray some Crown in here and get all this crap out of the way and spray as much as you can in here because this is pretty rusty. For my Canadian friends, go to Crown, get a bottle of rust protection lubricant. It's 10 bucks tax in. Give us a little spray, some of the joints. These things are rust buckets. So there's the BC coilover installed on the upper mount. I adjust this to the setting 26. It goes 30. We'll try 26, see how it is. I crowned up there, so it's good to go now. I did put some ACs on my bolts, so I'm ready to go. There you go, it's installed. All you do now is, I haven't adjusted the height at all yet. I'll do that later on. But now I'm ready to go do the other side and drop the cart onto the subframe. Okay guys, another tip is, to get this to line up, you won't be able to get it in unless you loosen up the main secondary hanger. So I wire brushed all the bolts and just hit them with a quick sauce of WD-40. Loosen them up. It nuts the bushings off. Drop the center section down, and this creates an angle where you can put this back on. And then one thing is just put some ACs in these bolts before you put them on. Line up your yoke with your flange. Press it back in place, and there you go. Put your bushings back in plate. There you go. Drop your bolts in your flange on your drive shaft to your yoke, and you're good to go. So next, we're going to do 2 electrical connections for your differential. Plug them in. Make sure you click. That's it. Now I seized all the bolts to the drive shaft to yoke. I didn't take them up because right now the axles aren't in, so when you spin them, they're gonna, whatever's holding them up is gonna bind up. So I'll do that next. Put the axles in, rotating arms in place, and there we go. Next, you want to install your trailing arm to body bolts. Give them some angle-Cs if you want to squirt some oil down these holes. I've already done it already. And torque those down, tighten those down. Okay, next guys, I'll cut the bump stop off before I put the coilovers in. I'm cutting one rib off. You can use a hacksaw, or in this case I'm using an alpha knife. I'm pretty sure the eye block ones are supposed to cut one off, and last installer didn't do that, and these ones are all smushed in the bottom. Was the all, eh? Keep the outbolt there. Now this is where the pry bar comes in handy. You slide in the bottom of the control arm, prop on it, and this is where it's kind of important that your angles match up for your shock. Mine's a little out, but it's not too bad. This is when another person comes in handy usually. But unfortunately I don't have that option right now. Okay guys, this is where your floor jack comes in place, or your jack that I have for the hoist. Use a center punch, align your holes up at the bottom of the shock. We'll give a little wiggle. And there you go, shock's in place. Move your jack out of the way, put your bolt on. This one has a rubber isolator, put it in place. Tighten her down. Guys, I left all the bolts of the cradle. I left them loose to make sure everything was in the way. So now you can go ahead and tighten them all up if you want. Evenly. Now on the front bolts, on the front cradle bolts, there's 2 bolts that go in the subframe to the body. Leave them a little bit loose, put those bolts in snug, and then tighten that bolt up. Otherwise you're gonna have a hard time getting those 412 mils in. Okay guys, what we'll do here real quick is go through a double check. So your cradle bolts, your 4 cradle bolts, this one right here, 2 forward, and that one there are all tight. Your differential bolts are tight. I haven't tightened any of these down yet because... Guys, I'll show you a little tip here, save a couple bucks. These end links are so good. Take a wire brush, clean your threads out as best you can. It is number 5 mil wrench. Make sure it fits in nice and deep. 14 mil. And a torch. Move it back and forth a few times, let the dirt get out of the threads, tighten it back up, loosen it up, and there you go. She's coming apart, no problem. There you go. Quick fucking save you 40 bucks each side. Hey guys, there's a little tip for you guys. Go to the store, pick up it's a needle with a zerk fitting on the end of it. It's about $5 Canadian roughly. Pop it in your grease gun. You take a pick between your boot and your shaft. I'll work the old grease out. It's usually pretty dry. This one's I've greased up already once. Pop the old grease out. You can see how dark it is. Drop a needle in there. Watch, don't pierce the boot. Give it pumps. If the fucking thing holds. That's 2 pumps there. Minus this shit. Original video's better. Next thing to do is your e-brake cable, your 12 mil, slap some anti-seize on her, and next, guys, I want to install the caliper. If you want to give this brakes quick sanding, I'm not going because this is going to go in storage and we'll have to do it afterwards. Make sure your slider pins are free and your pads are a little loose. Slide pads on. Anti-seize your bolts. 2 14 mils back here. Tighten this down to 14 mil. So once the carrier's in place, take your e-brake cable, slide it into your caliper, install your caliper on the carrier, your 2 14 mils. And tighten down. You might have to use a wrench on this. I believe it's a 15 or 16 mil. I'm not sure. Once they're tight, install your e-brake cable, bracket bolt 14 mil, anti-seize that, and tighten down. And basically your brakes are done. Next is your ABS wire. Now for ABS wire, guys, you put your 10 mil here, put some anti-seize in this bolt, pull your fender liners out, slide your cable in, grommet in, push in, make sure it clips. That's it, and then go inside and hook it up. Hey guys, next order of business is your sway bar end link. I anti-seized all my threads, so now there's 2 positions of the bar. Outside is soft, inside is hard. We're gonna run the hard position. I've done it a few times, and it makes the car feel more ass end happy, and if the customer doesn't like it, we can always switch it back, right? So put it in the bar first. And the hard position is actually easier than the soft position to get the bolts in. Now I won't tighten these all the way up because once I drop the car down, I'll tighten them all up. insert your Allen key and then use your 14mm wrench or ratchet, whatever you have. And this one you can tighten all the way up because it's on a spherical ball. It will move no matter what. And there you go. The end link's on. Next, guys, the drive shaft bolts. Grab two 14mm, put them on the back side. And there you go, tighten them up. Tighten all four up like this. And that's it, you're done. Next, guys, is your charcoal canister cover, shield. There's a little push clip here you put in, makes it really easy. Put your 10mm in, put many seasonal bolts, put 10mm in, and you're done. So guys, last step is basically before we preload the bushings up, torque these down to, they say 175, 235. I'm gonna go with 185. So put your e-brake on tight. And go for a drive and run through a heat cycle, and then double check them once they're good. Punch your castle nut in, and you're done. So guys, what I did here was I placed a jack under the control arm. I dropped the vehicle down onto the control arm onto the jack. You guys might have to use jack stands. I don't know what you guys are gonna have, but some way force the suspension up, take the weight, put the weight on the suspension, tighten your bushings down. So your upper control arm, your outer control arm, your inner control arm, your front toe adjusters, and your shock bolt. And this way prevents your bushings from tearing, and it actually prevents suspension from fighting the bushings. So the last thing you guys want to do here is pump some gear oil inside, some 7590. Pick your flavor. I use Royal Purple. Have good luck. Have had good luck with it. Pump it in until it comes out, starts dripping out. The car's level. Make sure the vehicle's level. Once it's coming out of here, put your plug in and you're done.
Hey guys, sorry the video was kind of chopped up. My buddy Nick filmed the removal process and he moved and lost all the footage. So unfortunately, all I have is basically on my camera is the assembly side. So if you watch the video as you did, you'll notice I had some issues with DSS axles and all that stuff. If you have any comments, comment below. Like the video and subscribe. Stay tuned. There will be a lot more MazdaSpeed 6 content coming. I have 3 customers. I have one customer likes to modify his vehicle. This one here, he wants to do a lot more modifications on his vehicle. So, like I said, stay tuned, subscribe, and there will be more videos coming up in the next month or so. Thanks, guys.